Let's talk about spontaneous speaking. You know, that moment when you're put on the spot and you have to say something smart, like right now. A lot of people think it's some kind of natural gift you're either born with or you're not. But that's not true at all. It's a skill. And with the right framework, it's a skill absolutely anyone can master. We have all been there, right? You know the feeling, that moment of just sheer panic. Your heart starts racing, your mind goes totally blank, you can practically hear the crickets chirping. It's that universal uh-oh moment we're gonna break down and conquer today. And this stuff happens everywhere, all the time. It's that unexpected question from your boss in the middle of a meeting. The sudden, hey, can you give some quick feedback on this? Or my personal favorite, that dreaded moment at a party when someone points at you and says, hey, could you say a few words? These little moments are way more common than those big planned speeches, and honestly, they can have a huge impact on how people see us. So, what's really going on here? What's the core challenge? Well, it's the insane amount of pressure we put on ourselves to be brilliant, to be perfect. And ironically, that's the very thing that causes our brains to freeze up. But don't worry, there's a fix, and it starts with understanding what's happening. Okay, first things first. If you feel nervous about this stuff, I want you to know you are so not alone. Not even close. Research shows that a whopping 85% of people report feeling nervous about public speaking. And if you ask me, the other 15% are probably lying. This is a completely normal human thing to feel. And here's something that's absolutely critical to understand. Your anxiety isn't just your problem. It actually becomes your audience's problem. When you're up there looking uncomfortable, they feel uncomfortable too. They get distracted, and sometimes they just tune out completely because, well, it's awkward for them too. So, that leads us right to the foundational solution. You have to manage your anxiety. Before you can even think about what you're going to say, you've got to find your center. And listen, the goal isn't to eliminate the fear. That's probably not going to happen. The goal is to manage it. This is a huge mental shift, so listen up. Your number one job as a speaker isn't to sound brilliant or witty or perfect. Your job is to make your audience comfortable. Comfortable enough to actually listen to and receive your message. It's all about shifting the spotlight off of you and onto them. Okay, so how do we actually do that? Well, it breaks down into 3 pretty practical steps. You're going to greet your anxiety, reframe the situation, and then get into the present moment. Let's start with that first one, which sounds a little weird, greeting it. So next time you feel those palms start to sweat and your heart starts to pound, don't try to fight it. Just acknowledge it. Say to yourself, oh, hello there. This is me feeling nervous. Or this is just me getting amped up because what I'm about to do is important. Just naming it, just acknowledging it like an old friend, can stop the whole spiral right in its tracks. All right, so you've got your anxiety managed a bit. Now we can get to the first step of the actual response framework. And it's all about getting out of your own way. Because your biggest enemy in a spontaneous moment is that little voice in your head screaming at you to say something perfect. And the solution? You're going to love this. It comes from the world of improv comedy. It's this fantastic, wonderfully counterintuitive little mantra, dare to be dull. Seriously, instead of trying to be amazing, just give yourself permission to be fine, to be just okay. It sounds crazy, right? But here's the magic behind it. The very moment you stop putting all that pressure on yourself to be a genius is the moment you free up all this mental space. You silence that inner critic, and that allows your authentic and often brilliant thoughts to finally come through. Okay, so once that pressure to be a genius is gone, you can move on to the next 2 steps. And this is all about shifting your perspective. First, you're going to reframe the situation, and second, you're going to really truly listen to what's going on. Just take a look at this. It really breaks down the 2 mindsets. When you get put on the spot, do you see it as a threat where you have to defend yourself? Or do you see it as an opportunity, a chance to help, a chance to clarify, a chance to connect? Shifting from that defensive, adversarial mindset to a collaborative one, well, it changes absolutely everything. And you know, there's another classic from improv that just sums this all up perfectly. Instead of approaching a question with a defensive no but kind of vibe, you adopt a yes and attitude. You accept what's happening and you build on it. That's the mindset of opportunity. All right, so you're seeing this as an opportunity. Now comes maybe the hardest part of all. You have to pause. And I mean really, truly listen. Don't rush to fill the silence. Take a breath and absorb what's actually being asked of you before you even think about responding. Remember, your job is to serve the audience, and you can't do that if you haven't really heard them. And that brings us to the final piece of the puzzle, the most hands-on, practical step of them all, responding with structure. A simple, preset framework is your secret weapon. It makes you sound organized and confident, even if you feel like you're just making it all up as you go. And you might be thinking, a structure? Isn't that rigid? But here's why it's a lifesaver. In a spontaneous moment, your brain is trying to do two huge things at once: figure out what you want to say and figure out how you're going to say it. A structure takes care of the how, which frees up all your mental energy to just focus on the good stuff, the content. I know. It sounds like a total contradiction, right? Structure sets you free. But it is absolutely true. The framework doesn't box you in, it actually liberates you. Think of it like a trellis for a climbing plant. It gives your ideas a clear and compelling direction to grow. Okay, so what are these magical structures? Well, here are two of my absolute favorites you can keep in your back pocket. First is problem, solution, benefit. This is perfect for when you need to be persuasive. Here's the problem, here's my solution, and here's why it's a great idea. The other one, what, so what, now what, is a fantastic all-purpose tool. You state a point, explain why it matters, and then say what to do next. It brings instant clarity to almost any situation. All right, let's do a quick recap. Let's put this whole toolkit together. First, you're going to manage your anxiety. Greet it, don't fight it. Second, get out of your own way by daring to be dull. Take that pressure off. Third, reframe the whole thing as an opportunity, and then really listen. And finally, when it's your turn to speak, respond with a clear, simple structure. So that next time you get put on the spot, remember, it's not a threat, it's not a test, it's an opportunity waiting for you. It's a chance to clarify, a chance to connect, a chance to help out. So the only real question left is, how are you going to respond?